What is going on, everybody? So today we're already behind again for various reasons. It's already 6 o'clock, but we're still gonna try and get some stuff done today. Plan that I've come up with as of right now is just to jack Jesse's truck up, get it up off the ground a little bit, to access the fuel tank a little bit better. So I'm gonna put him up on the race ramps and then start draining the fuel for his fuel sump, and I'll go over that briefly again. Also, judging by the comments thus far from yesterday's video, apparently we're probably gonna be putting on spiked lug nuts because it looks like everybody wants to see them. I have them on all my other trucks, but I'm gonna look at a couple different brands, see what I can come up with, seeing that they are a little bit different thread pitch on the first gen than the third gen. Also, just wanna hint on this real quick. If you didn't know already, hitting the like button actually helps out the channel, helps out the video quite a bit. So if you guys wouldn't mind, even if you remotely like the video, just hit that like button. Also, had a couple friends inform me of not getting alerted when my videos post. So where you hit subscribe, right next to my name, somewhere down here, there's a little bell notification. Without that bell notification, YouTube kind of does some funky things when it comes to getting alerted when people post new videos. So the only real way you're gonna know is if that little bell is turned on. So make sure you hit that if you want to see when I upload. Usually everybody kind of knows by now, but if you're new, I usually always upload. If I'm gonna upload, which is almost daily, it's gonna be between 11 and 12 o'clock. If it's anywhere past 12 o'clock, chances are I usually am not gonna post. Otherwise, if I do, it's probably gonna be on my Instagram. I'll let you guys know. But anyway, enough of me talking right now. My phone's going off. See, this is why I can't get anything done. Johnny, send it. We'll see what he wants. He's crazy. He's crazy. I'm not even going to tell you what the hell he just said, but maybe you guys will see in a future video, but he's a nut. He is just a nut. All right, guys, so first step on Jesse's AirDog / Beans diesel sump install. So what we're going to do is we already got the truck jacked up. That's just really easier to get underneath the truck, seeing that we don't have a lift. Got our bucket containers. That way all the fuel can drain in there. Got a drill that we don't really care too much about because it is going to get drenched in fuel. Use their supplied hole saw. I'm going to get that draining, and then I'll come back and talk to you guys a little bit about the fuel sump, about the AirDog, and going forward. Also, just a quick mention, this is the stock tank on this third gen. You can see these indentations right here. This is exactly where we're going to drill. The sending unit is directly right above that, and that's pretty much right where you want it. So right in between here, right in the middle of this is where we're going to drill that hole. It also might help if you have a charged battery. No. Like I mentioned, it makes a mess no matter what way you do it. Covers your drill no matter what way you do it. Maybe there's a cleaner way, I don't know, but I'm gonna let that drain. All right, so starting out Jesse's build, doing some supporting mods, starting with a AirDog 4G165. Huge fan of AirDogs. I made a full entire video of why I support AirDogs, why I think the benefits are of running AirDog versus competitors. I will put the link of that video in the description of this video if you guys want to watch basically me blabber about why I love AirDog. But that's what we're going to be doing, starting off with that. We did get some black hose. I did mention previously that I like the look of black push lock hose versus the blue stuff, but that's the AirDog. I always run Beans diesel sumps. I know it's kind of sunny here. Beans diesel sumps, basically this bolts to the bottom of the fuel tank. The lift pump basically pulls fuel right out of this, right on the bottom of the tank. It's got like a little mini sump built in there, obviously. but love bean sumps. Install very easy, 1-bolt design. Basically you fish that up inside the fuel tank, gets sandwiched just like that with an O-ring, bolt through the bottom. What we're doing right now is just prepping the pump with the fittings, things like that. I'll probably try and get this maybe somewhat mounted while we're waiting for the rest of the fuel to drain. Got the mounting brackets. That. Alright guys, so what I just was doing there, which I didn't really videotape, was I put this bracket up on the frame with what I thought would be the highest position possible. Turns out it was a little bit too high, so we're just going to move this down. What you want to do is you definitely want to test fit how high you can get that up and where the best spot to put that bracket is. That way nothing's hanging down and you can't see it. So once you figure that out, you can go ahead and pre-assemble this like so. Okay, we're just going to then square this up just like that because it does have some wiggle room. Do that, square it up, tighten everything down, put the pump on, tighten that down, and then we can pretty much fasten that to the frame. And then once we drop the fuel tank, get that all situated, just run some lines, run some wires. This is really not that bad of a job. AirDog really does a great job of giving you everything you need. I don't use any of my own fittings. Where is the bag of fittings here? You know, they have these really awesome quick connect style fittings with the push lock hose. It's very easy, very clean. I've done this a bunch, but if you're a first-time guy, you know, all these jobs are time-consuming, guys, but nothing super hard. You just got to take your time, watch some videos, and you'll be good to go. All right, guys, and that's pretty much the finished assembly here. All bolted up from the bottom, bolted from the back. Got all the fittings in it, and then basically that other plate sandwiches the frame rail. 1 bolt on the bottom, 2 bolts on top. This is a steel plate. They used to use plastic, which people got a little sketched out about. I use the plastic ones. I never had a problem with them, but they did go back to metal for those who were a little concerned. I've seen fast brackets, I've seen AirDog brackets. Some people don't really like the whole idea of sandwiching the frame rail. Me personally, I've done it on probably about 5 trucks. Never ever had a single issue, whereas the fast bracket hanging off of 1 bed bolt, I don't know, not really a huge fan of that. I'm sure nobody's had problems with those either, but just my personal opinion, I would much rather go with something like this 100%. So we're gonna get this thrown up on the truck now. I believe the fuel tank is still probably dripping. Just a quick shot of the final mounting of the AirDog on the frame rail. Fuel tank finally got through to the pilot hole, to the big hole up in there. Just gonna let that finish draining. See if we can't drop this fuel tank down. All right, guys, don't even ask what we're doing with this in my hand. We might have had a little issue with the old Danger. Came up with a cylinder 4 misfire, so I went ahead and got a plug just in case, but we're gonna pull a spark plug here. Even though we are a diesel only channel, gotta do what we gotta do. While we're waiting for the fuel to drain, we're gonna pop this plug out. Luckily, it's on a very easy cylinder to get to. It's not even ones in the back. So she was pretty shot, so we're gonna go ahead and throw in that new one. It might be time just for a tune-up in general, but got our fancy spark plug installer socket here. I'm gonna throw this baby in. It's already getting too dark to see what the heck I'm doing. Look at all those fancy spark plug removers. Alright guys, I have honestly no idea if that is going to fix the problem with the Ranger. I know it was a cylinder 4 misfire. I know there's lots of other things that go into a possible misfire, but honestly, that was the cheapest, easiest, took 2 seconds, and honestly, that is way too much time to even spend on something that has spark plugs. I hate working on the beater, if you want to call it that, the Ranger, whatever you want to call it. I hate working on that thing, just because it takes up time from working on the more important things. So I think the fuel's almost drained out. All right, guys, tank is finally out. Oh, I am so dirty right now. You see this? You see this? So I know everyone's gonna be like, why in the hell would you wear a white shirt? But honestly, this was the first shirt that I grabbed that I really didn't care if it got dirty or not. I knew this was gonna be a mess, but tank is out. Basically, where we're at now is we have a lot of cleanup to do before I even pop the sending unit out. Really, the whole idea of dropping the tank is to modify the sending unit. I'll probably go over that tomorrow. And really make sure that the tank is completely clean. As you can tell, you wouldn't think so, but a lot of dirt, rocks and everything forms up here. Breather tubes are just caked and nasty. Let me tell you, Jesse, you owe me one. I know you're watching this probably tomorrow when it's going up. You owe me. But I usually take this off. This is just kind of like a factory shield. It's a pain in the butt to really work around, especially when you're trying to reach up here to grab all this stuff. We have to clean up the tank brackets real well. They're not in too bad a shape. They just need a good cleaning. Like I mentioned before, when you're trying to reach up and disconnect all the connections on the top of the fuel tank, I always drop the drive shaft. That way you can kind of squeeze your body in between the exhaust and the fuel tank up there. One tool that I have found that is a absolute necessary, 15mm impact swivel. This will get to all 4 of your drive shaft bolts with ease, especially if you hook it up to your cordless impact. Taking the rear drive shaft off like that I just mentioned literally takes about 2 seconds. Very easy. So 15mm impact swivel on a cordless gun. Now the other thing I always do, this is your factory return. This is actually your factory supply. Now what AirDog does is utilize this fitting for the AirDog return. So AirDog's pump returns back into this. I take the stock motor out, clean all that, modify the sending unit that's better for the sump. All right, guys, I know this is kind of like all over the place. I apologize. I was actually debating on whether or not to kind of film this, seeing that I've already done it. But the other video is actually a very, very detailed, descriptive. If you're putting in an AirDog or a fuel sump, if you want a very detailed step-by-step instruction, I'm going to put those links down below. I'm actually going to put that link in the end of this video as well. So I got the front of the first gen uncovered here, and I've been looking at some pictures, and here's where I'm at with the front end of this thing. I do like the non-plastic version of the front bumpers, which come in like Vans, and the earlier models like the 89s to 91s I believe have like a completely chrome smooth bumper. The newer ones like the 93 that was on here had that plastic inserts, which I'm not really a big fan of. So here's the bumper brackets. They actually bolt right here and on this other side, and then they remove. So really all that's left, the frame actually ends right here. That's your frame. This piece and this piece are actually part of the bumper support bumper bracket. And I can see my battery's dying. Intermission. Okay, we're back. So here's where I'm going with this whole bumper talk here. You can kind of see right here how that fender kind of smooths out towards the front. Now, either bumper actually kind of wraps around that part of the fender. And basically what that does is it kind of hides this body line right here. So the bumper wraps around it like this. Now, I've seen guys run no front bumpers. Now, I do think that looks a little incomplete. It's not really, how do I want to say this? I don't like how the factory bumper wraps around that fender. I think it looks cleaner with no front bumper. What I'm thinking of doing is taking these off, and then kind of like how a roll pan covers that up smooth. If we had a smooth section that went from here and kind of matched this underneath, what do you guys think about that? I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of talking out loud. I'm kind of talking to you guys, gathering your opinions, your thoughts. I haven't done a whole lot of searching, but all I've seen is basically you guys that run the smooth bumpers or no bumpers and take the hooks off. Now, like I said, each one has its drawback. So basically, to end that talk, no front bumper looks incomplete. A smooth front bumper looks good, but I don't think looks the best hiding that body line. So that's where I'm at. I'd really like to make like a custom piece that kind of matched the lower part of this. I'm sorry, matched the lower part here, kind of smoothed out. But yeah, we'll see. I probably shouldn't be worrying about that first. We have a lot of other work to do on that. I know, I'm just kind of talking out loud. All right, guys, we lost all daylight now. So that is gonna wrap up this video. I need to go in, get cleaned up, eat dinner, shower, the whole thing. What time is it right now? It's almost 9 o'clock again, but I guess not bad for 3 hours worth of work. So I know I didn't show you guys a lot. Blame Jesse. We're gonna blame Jesse. Jesse's in Florida. Jesse should be helping videotape all this stuff. But anyway, I'm doing the best I can for you guys. Thank you as always for watching. I do appreciate it immensely. Hit that like button before you leave. I will see you guys tomorrow.